Is going on, guys? It's Kevin back in with a quick new video. Now I'm going to show you this car, and I just bought it. This video is probably going to be a two-part video just because I have a lot of work to do on this car, but I picked this car up for $450, and I actually might keep it as my new daily driver besides the Mitsubishi Eclipse. So let me show you what I got, and like I said, this is $450. Here it is. This is a 2009 Mitsubishi Lancer. I know you guys are probably like, yeah, what's up with you and Mitsubishis? But this thing is dirty, and just picked it up last night. It's got 142,000 miles, no, 141,000 miles on it, and it needs to be cleaned out, as you can see here. But the issue with this car is, just like the issue with this car is the timing belt broke on it. But this actually has a timing chain. Everything from 2008 and newer have chains instead of belts. Went out on a limb to get this car. Let me show you the engine. The dude didn't know exactly what was going on with it, so I went out and took a look. He had it posted up for $800. Went out and took a look at it. He already had the valve cover off, checking it and all that stuff. And as you can see here, it has a timing chain. Let me get this out of the way here. It has a timing chain, but as you can see right there, I want to say that the tensioner, which goes around this, as you can see how loose it is there, but it goes around, and on the back side of the bottom it has a tensioner that pushes the chain that keeps the tension on it. And of course it jumped timing. Now I was hoping, well, I could just do like I did with that one, you know, change the chain, put a new tensioner on there, hopefully it'll work. But as I started looking at it, as you can see, this is the caps for the valves itself. The cam lobes push those down, and they're supposed to return. If you can see, not sure if you can see here or not. You probably cannot see here, but all the intake valves are bent. They're actually down. Like I said, the lobe on this one is right here, so the valve should be all the way up, but it's actually stuck down. So all 2, 4, 6, 8 of the intake valves are bent. So I'm gonna have to pull the head off. Thank God the head gasket for this thing is only $34. I'm gonna have to see how much the timing chain and tensioner kit is and put it back together, and hopefully it works. But like I said, with 141,000 miles for $450, I mean, you really can't beat that. So it's worth taking it apart to see if I can fix it. But like I said, I like this car because it's a 4-door. I have kids. I'm not going to get rid of the Eclipse, so I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep the Eclipse. And also with the Z, I have a guy, and I want you guys to leave a message or a comment in the comment sections below. I have a guy that has a AE86, 1986 Toyota Corolla. It's the SR5, not the GTS. 5-speed, runs and drives good. The paint's bad, the interior is bad. He wants to trade for the Z. Now the Z has just been sitting here collecting dust. AE86s go for anywhere from $25 to $65 depending. Zs are about the same price. So you guys tell me, should I buy the AE86 or should I trade this for the AE86? Like I said, this thing's just been sitting here, so it's kind of rotting away. It's been a couple weeks since I've even started up and drove it around the block. But you guys let me know about that. Like I said, this is probably going to be a two-part video. I'm going to pull this into the garage here and go ahead and start taking the head off. And if you guys watch my videos, I don't really like dealing with engines that has timing chains on them. But like I said, this car does not have a dent on it. It looks really dirty, as you can see. But with the mileage and a good waxing, this thing is going to actually look pretty good. Book value's right around $6,500, so paying $450 for it, I really can't go wrong. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm gonna pull it in right now, start working on it, see what I can do with it. I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll put an update video as soon as I'm done with it. Let you know if I screwed the motor up even more or I got it fixed. Bye, guys. Hey, what is up, guys? Back now. I'm halfway through this Lancer. I actually got pretty lucky with it. Found a Lancer at a junkyard where I could go get all the valves and stuff. I needed 8 valves. All the intake valves was bent. I called Mitsubishi. They wanted $38 per valve, plus 170 something dollars for the freaking Tom and chain and all that stuff. So I got the valves second hand. I got the Tom and chain, all that. Let me show you here. Now, this is the old one and the new one. And as you can see right here, of course you can tell that the old one is on the right because it's stretched. So yeah, stretched out about a tooth. Here is the here's the head. Now let me show you the valves on this thing. Oh, now you can see the valves right here. I've already got one off, but they're bent horribly. All of them are bent on the intake side. Now I did start to clean up the motor a little bit. As you can see, like on this one here, if I can get out of the sun, yeah, it has a lot of carbon buildup. Not really too much, considering the car only has 141,000 miles. But as you can see, I'm cleaning the cylinders up. So I'm gonna finish cleaning this piston off and go ahead and prep everything, put it back together, and cross our fingers that this damn thing starts up. It's not been a pain in the ass. It's just there's a lot of little intricate stuff that you got to do when doing this, and I don't like doing cars that have Tom and chains and all that. But like I said, this car was worth it. Hopefully it starts. Hopefully it runs okay. I've got the new head gasket for it and the new head studs. If it doesn't, I'm still only out $500. So and I can still probably sell it for $1,500. Somebody that just needs it for parts, or somebody that has an engine. So yeah, cross your fingers. Hey, we are back, guys, and finally this car is done. Now, I said just a minute ago this car wasn't a pain in the ass. It actually was a pain in the ass. Like I said, I don't like working on cars with Tom and chains. This car is just overly complicated. You know, they could have went with the simple 2.4 liter like what's in the Mitsubishi Clip. So I've decided I'm going to sell this car because I don't want to work on the car anymore. You know, if it would have had the single overhead cam engine, I would have definitely kept it with the Tom belt, the one, like I said, they have an Eclipse. But parts for this car is just too hard to find. So if something major did go wrong again, finding parts for it would be a pain in the ass. But like with the Eclipse that I have, you know, it's a 07 Eclipse, but it has a 2.4 single overhead cam engine. You don't find the Eclipse that much, but the Mitsubishi Galant has the same motor in it. So a couple of times that I've had to put parts on that car, I just go and you can find Galants all day at Pull Apart and get them cheap. This car is different, but let me show you how it came out. Now I did get it cleaned up a little bit. Now what's weird is, you know, I still got to wax it. I just had to, you know, clean it up or whatever. But the paint on this car is flawless. There is really no dents on this car. The only dent is, I'm not even sure if you can see it, but it's right there. It's a small little dent. Other than that, the rest of the car has no dents whatsoever. Somebody had tint on it here, so I've got to scrape that off. But other than that, I got it cleaned up a little bit on the inside. Not great. You probably can't see a lot because of the sun here. Now, I got everything together. It did start up. Ooh, shit. It did start up, and as you can see there, 141,000 miles. But it has a light for one of the tire sensors, which I had to add air to the back tire. So hopefully that was the issue, and it'll go off pretty soon. But the other issue is it has a check engine light, and that's coming up for possibly an O2 sensor or a catalytic converter. So yeah, I'm not going to fix any of that stuff, but this thing runs great. I mean, it runs really good. I drove it for a little bit. You can see the for the tire, low tire pressure, but all of them are good. And then the check engine light. Other than that, I drove it for probably a good 20-30 minutes. Didn't have an issue with it. But everything does work in the car. I mean, the radio works, CD player works, heat AC. The carpet's not in horrible condition. You can see the seats are not in horrible condition. I still gotta, run a vacuum over all this, but I mean, overall, it's in not too bad a shape. And considering now it's 141,000 miles, everything I have in this car, I paid $450 for the car, $35 for the head gasket, and then I spent for the valves, Tom and chain, all that good stuff. I'm probably, let's say $540 into the car. Let's say $550. $550 into the car. It does run. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. I mean, like I said, if it wasn't so hard to work on and find parts for this car, it'd be great. But this car will be a great car, let's say in, 4 or 5 years, once a little bit older, and you start seeing more, more of these in the junkyard. Now this is, I'm not sure if this is factory or whatever, but it does have a 10-inch Rockford Fallskate subwoofer in the back that's kind of integrated into the trunk. Let me show you here. So I'm not sure if this is like a stock option. And of course this is the GTS, so the body's a little bit different. It has the spoiler, and you can see it has that Rockford Fallskate subwoofer in the back, and I'm guessing that has an amp in it, or it's powered by something. It's got to be powered by something. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up, clean the inside out really good, post this thing up, and just be done with it. Anyway, any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys later.